Cool. So, so what I'm going to do is that I prepared a lesson for both recording a 2D artwork or a 3D, but what I will do is that I will show the 3D because it's important. If at any point between now and the time that you submit your portfolio, you happen to do a sculpture or a piece of pottery, it'll be good for you to know how to do it, although I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. Unless definitely if you have questions, I will go over it. So the way I'm going to structure this, now that everybody said mostly 2D, and you are you all seniors? Or juniors? You're going to be a sophomore. That's, yeah. Better be prepared. So it is a good habit to get into to make really good photos of the artwork that you're doing and start saving them somewhere, because you could apply for a scholarship with a good portfolio. You can apply for a grant. You can apply for an artist residency, and definitely for college, you need a good portfolio. So it's a good habit to get yourself into. So the way I'm going to do this little workshop is that I'm going to show you a slideshow. We're going to take a look at some do's and don'ts and like tips of how to make the best of your artwork and photograph it. There's going to be a video for one thing to keep in mind. And then at the end of the slideshow, I'm going to do a demo. So I'm going to actually show you a couple of things that I do when I'm photographing my things. Okay, cool. Any questions? All right, so let me know if you, at any point, don't see the screen that I'm going to share. So I'm going to share a slideshow. Can everyone see this slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't for any reason, just unmute yourself and let me know. Sometimes, can you see it now? No. No.
Yeah.
You see it in full screen? Does everybody see this question?
No, not now.
No.
It, like, disappeared.
Okay.
It went away.
Yeah, it did. I don't know why that's happening, but it started happening. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to do it like this so you can see it. So getting your portfolio ready for review. So photographing your artwork. It's important to photograph your artwork. Later on, you probably will be getting sending it to somebody in a slideshow. So I like this quote. And I think our sophomore Emma here, she definitely fits this quote. Opportunity does not waste time with those who are unprepared. So this guy is an author, Oduwu Koeninka, and it's really important for it to be prepared. There's been many times where, I get something comes across my lap. Somebody said, oh, they're taking submissions for this art show. You need to send something. You should send something. And having it photographed really well, and especially in these times, is wonderful, because you can just send it via email and be done. I got a couple of art shows like that where I was just, not even thinking about it and just did it last minute. So it's good to be prepared. Okay, so why do you need a college portfolio? So portfolio is a collection of your work, and it shows your breadth and your skill and your creativity. And you have to think about, if you're thinking about applying to art school, the amount of portfolios that they see tons. Admissions officers in art schools see 100 a day, probably, of portfolios. So the easiest thing that they can do is something comes across their table and it's not documented well, they can just put it aside. They don't even have to look at the whole thing. So you don't want to be that that portfolio. You don't want to be that person. You want to make sure that you have a good eye-grabbing, well-photographed portfolio. So in this, I'm just going to show this. I'm going to stop sharing and show this video, 3 steps for preparing a college portfolio. This is by Boston U. And I thought it was really good at explaining, and you know, it's 2-minute video. It's really short. Okay.
So, you're applying to art school and you need to submit a portfolio. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. We've put together a few tips to help assemble a stellar portfolio and get you into the school of your dreams. Start by researching the school's portfolio or admissions requirements. These answers can usually be found online or by contacting their admissions department. Some have strict application deadlines. Others are enrolling admission. Some want to see specific works. Others leave the decision up to the artist. Some schools only accept original art. Most prefer digital copies. To start, you'll need 12 to 20 pieces of original artwork that were ideally created in the last year. Your portfolio should be composed of observational art, personal art, and possibly home exams. Observational art is drawing or painting in a traditional method using a still life, model, or landscape as the subject. This is not art done from photographs, a copy of another artist's work, or your imagination. Personal art pieces are works that reflect your unique style, interests, and imagination. This is your opportunity to show off smart ideas and your willingness to experiment. Some schools require you to create a specific work for their home exam. You can find the prompt and requirements online. Make sure photos of your work are well cropped, in focus, and on a solid background. Take your time photographing each piece and don't use your phone's camera. Also, skip the size reference. The only way you'll get ahead is by including a body. Please no floating objects. Don't submit torn or damaged works. When in doubt, ask friends or teachers for their opinions, or visit a portfolio review event near you. Just make sure to give yourself plenty of time to prepare. Don't wait until the last minute, and make enough work so that you can edit together the best portfolio possible. But most importantly, have fun with it.
Okay, I'll go back to the slideshow, but from that video, one of the things I want to emphasize, they say 12 to 20 pieces. I would say 20 to 25 pieces is what you're aiming for. Because you can always edit that down to your strongest pieces. Don't start with 12. 12 is too little. So right now is the time to make sure that you are creating a lot of artwork that you can choose and pick from. So any questions about that video? I mean, I think it's really cute. It shows you all the stuff. They say not to use that iPhone, but the thing is that phones have, you know, especially the latest ones are amazing. So I'm going to say, yes, you can photograph it with your phone. If you were photographing your images for reproduction, if it was going to be included in a book, if it's going to be included in like your school yearbook, then I would say your iPhone would not give the best quality for a printing image. But for if it's going to be displayed online, I think your phone will be fine. So I'll go back to, close this, and I'll go back to the slideshow. Okay. At any point, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. So these are 4 steps that you need to follow And I will go into detail at each one in more detail. But right now, I just want to show you there's like 4 things that you need to do to make sure that you're photographing your artwork and showing it in the best light. Okay, you have to display your work like it's in an art gallery. So if you have 2D pieces, you have to put it on the wall. That's the best place for it. And if you have 3D pieces, you have to put it on a table. And my recommendation is to do either a white background or a black background, something neutral. Light your work properly. So this is the Achilles heel to a lot of the things that a lot of portfolios is that the light is not great. The best light is indirect daylight. So not the sun directly on your artwork, but on the shady side of wherever you are, that is still bright enough and getting enough daylight, but not casting any shadows or any direct light. So if you're indoors, you try to find a place that has really nice window light that you can use. Adjust your camera settings. So whether you're using an iPhone or you're using a regular camera, you have to make sure that you are going to take the best possible photo that you can. So in your digital SLR, you have to choose the highest resolution that you have, and you make sure that your cameras are stable. And if the more things that you can choose, even with photos, I'll show you later, there's a different apps that you can use that let you use your phone like a manual camera. So the more that you can manipulate that, the better your final image will be. And the last one is to edit your photos minimally. You will edit your photos because you have to make sure that they look the best. And sometimes the translation from the image to what it actually looks like, something gets lost, it gets a little bit duller, it doesn't look as vibrant. You can tweak it. I say minimally because all of these people that are looking at images that you send them, they're trained to look at these images. And if you tweak them or put a filter that's really out there, they'll see it immediately and just toss it aside. Like they don't want to see, because they understand, I'm looking at something that's not going to look the way it is in real life. So tweak it very little, that it looks almost completely natural. Okay. Okay, so the number one I talked to, display your artwork like it's in a gallery. So this stuff like this, where you can see your easel, you can see the wallpaper, like this is a no-no. This is not the way to show your artwork. You have to treat it the way you want to see it. You want to see it in a gallery? Hang it like it's in a gallery. Display it like it's in a gallery. It's going to look great. That's what you need to do, and we'll talk more about that. Light your work properly. So the one on the left is indoor tungsten light. The one on the right is daylight. And you can see, like, you're all artists, you can tell, like, these colors are not the same. They're not the same. They're changing depending on what the temperature of the light is. Adjust your camera settings. So one of the things I would suggest if you're photographing with your phone is to enable the grid on your phone so that you can properly line this up. So if you do the grid and you properly line your 2D rectangular piece of paper, then you're not getting any warping or any distortion from the lens. Your camera lens on your phone is a wide angle lens. And what that means is that the closer you get, the edges will get skewed. So it won't, no matter what you do, it won't be a perfect square or a nice rectangular. Another thing you can do, and this is how, if you don't know how to set the grid, you go into camera settings and you find the grid and you turn it on and the grid comes on. Another thing that you want to do if you're photographing with your phone is like you actually don't want to handhold your phone, because you may move, you may get a little camera shake, you'll move and like get it skewed also. So you want to put your camera phone or your regular camera on a tripod if you have one, or a table. Excuse me. So one of the things I do is like, and you all know how to do this, you prop your phone against a couple of different books and then you know that it's not going to move. And then if you put your phone on a timer, which is the little icon here, then you can touch it and let the timer take the picture. So you know that you're not moving the phone at any time because you won't be touching it. Okay, edit your photos minimally. So I suggest, there's, the filters and the adjustments here on your phone. They're okay. You can do that. I have a couple of other suggestions of different apps that you can